Federal Capital Territory Minister Wike yesterday scolded his successor, the Rivers State Governor Fubara, for his recent alleged disrespectful comments on senior members of the bar and the bench. Wike, speaking during a luncheon he organized in Port Harcourt, the state capital, in honor of the members of the 10th Rivers State House of Assembly, said the governor's comments about cases and their jurisdiction smacked of ignorance and wondered why he, Fubara, continued to attack the likes of OCJ Okocha, SAN, Sergeant Awuse, and Chief Alabraba, all of whom he once acknowledged as the three wise men that stood firm to make him a governor. He alleged that Awuse, who was the chairman of the Rivers State Traditional Rulers Council, was kicked out of the position by the governor when Awuse was in coma and battling for survival in London and needed the support of the government. Wike said after Awuse's maltreatment, the governor last Thursday turned his attention on OCJ Okocha and the judges and accused them of turning the law upside down. Wike said he decided to celebrate the lawmakers because of their resolve to fight against ingratitude and to protect the sacred principles of democracy. He said, what have they done is to say, okay, ingratitude, we can't accept it. What they have done is to say, look, we are the ones who labored, who had sleepless nights and put you there for all of us to be together. Today you hate all of us. Yes, these young men, the lawmakers in this instance, labored from place to place. Look at council chairmen. They took risks, spent money to put you there. All of a sudden, they are armed robbers, thieves all over the place. That is not life. When people come out to talk and say forgive, forgive what? We are all human and you want to pretend as if nothing has gone wrong. How do you pretend? I will never pretend. I decided with the leaders to thank them. It is not only when somebody has died, but when they are alive to say you have done well. You have shown capacity and independence of legislature. You have shown that money cannot move you. Other states should emulate you. They seized their salaries for 1 year. They seized their allowances. They said they would come and beg. We can now ask the lawmakers, are you begging? Will you beg tomorrow? You have shown them who we are. Wike said nobody would conquer his team in Rivers and mocked the governor for exhibiting ignorance on judicial and legal matters. He said, this is Rivers and nobody will conquer us. Fubara said anything that is a state matter must come to the state high court. Shame. If you don't know anything, say you don't know anything. I feel so bad. The State Assembly is challenging an illiterate government that you have no right to be spending money without the budget, and therefore the central bank cannot continue to release funds without budget. Can you sue at the State High Court? Where will you sue? APC went to court and say for you to conduct local government election, you must follow the procedure. INEC is the custodian of the voter register. If they fail to follow the procedure, INEC do not release the voter register. And to stop INEC, do you go to State High Court? You go where? The Federal High Court. And if INEC does not release the voter register, will there be an election? Turning to OCJ Okocha, Wike called on the Nigerian Bar Association to protect the legal profession and safeguard the judiciary and stop lawyers who have no knowledge of facts of cases and judgments from collecting money to attack judges on national television. He said, I have been in this political system since 1998 till now. I have never taken a break. So I am involved. If security agencies will go and investigate what politicians do if they want to reach out to judges and it is not possible, they come out and write petition against that judge. They will go and accuse the judge of taking bribes. He said his political family had maintained decorum and their belief in the judiciary by rejecting the temptation to attack judges, even in the face of many ex parte orders on the same matter. He said 6 High Court judges gave ex parte orders 1 to 10. Have we ever written petitions? Have we ever gone on television to castigate them? All we say is that they are not the final court. We tell our lawyer, go on appeal. A lot was said, but this is just the excerpt that I want us to dwell on today. Joining me on Open Air this morning is Emi Feraha, a regular on the show and a political analyst. Good morning, Emi, and welcome to Open Air.
Good morning, Norwegians. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Rivers people. Good morning, my friends.
Right. Good morning, Emi, and you're welcome.
Emi, you're looking good, by the way.
Thank you. It's Nigeria. Thanks to Nigeria.
Emi, what do you have to say to this story?
But I think the issue he stated, they are very obvious and clear. I've always maintained that we operate a constitutional democracy. The constitution is the measurement for measuring anything and is the standard. If you deviate from it, it means you are actually going on the path of undemocratic activities. If you must engage in an action, first, x-ray the constitution. If the action is permitted or allowed by law, then you follow it. But if not allowed by law, trying to maneuver your way towards achieving your end, it means you are trying to destroy our democracy. First, what are the issues that are mentioned here? What was elected a governor? I see a serving governor, right? If you have people who oppose your interests, according to you, what you do is that you follow the law that made you the governor. If you deviate from that law, you will create crisis, you will create confusion, and this is what we have in Rivers State. First, I remember when this issue arose, the aggrieved lawmakers went to Federal High Court to say, come, our position is threatened. Please, the law, you are the custodian of everything, which is the court. Please give us that coverage. And Justice Omotosho say, yes, by the reason of the law, you've met all constitutional requirements to be speaker and to be this. Now we are giving you this, and the state governor and all the agencies of state government were barred from interfering with the activities of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And they even say, even in prosy, don't do it. Present budget to them. But what did the governor do? The governor ignored all of this and went to a state high court. That is court of coordinate jurisdiction. What are you going to do in a state high court with a matter that has to do with the legislative arm of government as enshrined in the constitution? It's only the federal high court that has jurisdiction. But you went there to obtain some frivolous orders and all that, thinking that it's going to, give you the cover up that you desire in government. It will not. However, later we now saw some persons who they proclaim himself that he is the speaker. That was on the 30th of October 2023. You proclaim yourself as a speaker when we have a grown-up that stipulates how a speaker can emerge.
You mean that is here, correct?
Yes, in a state of assembly. And that is section 92, subsection 1 of the 19th Constitution as amended. The speaker must be elected from among the members, not by court, not by anybody outside. You must be a member of the house before you can vote for the speaker, and everybody will vote for you or reject you. Whosoever they voted for becomes a speaker, which even he participated in the election of Honorable Martins Amiehule. Then later on, just because there is little disagreement between you, went and declared yourself the speaker among other 5 members. And on the 12th of December, you went to another state high court that the High Court should confirm your speakership. When the law actually bar anything that has to do with the court from interfering with the election of the speaker, from hence you begin to proclaim yourself that you are the legitimate speaker, you are the speaker. Mefule has lost his seat and all that. And the issue, what that is worth of note is this. Nigerians, please listen very well. People are actually selling a kind of a big lie that because Martin Amiehule and others allegedly defected from the PDP to the APC, therefore they lost their seat automatically. That is the reason Honorable Edison here became the speaker. It's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. It didn't happen in that manner. Edison here announced himself a speaker of Rivers House Assembly on the 30th of October 2023. And the issue of the alleged defection took place on the 11th of December 2023. If you calculate from 30th to on the 11th December, is 42 days difference. So you announce yourself a speaker without meeting the requirement of the law as stipulated in section 92 subsection 1 number 1, then section 92 subsection 2 paragraph C that talked about how a speaker can be removed. You didn't meet that requirement. Then section 96 of that constitution talked about forming a quorum before the house can transact the business of the house. You didn't meet the requirement, and you went and declared yourself that the court confirmed you. And later they say it was because you had defected, that is why it became. At what time? Who made you the speaker on the 30th? Who voted for you? Did Amebule another allegedly defected on the 30th of October? The answer is no. So people should stop telling this lie in order to justify a wrong behavior. You declared yourself first before issue of this defection took place on the 11th of December 2023. So I wonder how some people became speaker, that a governor who is elected under the law we suddenly went about to present an official document, an appropriation bill, to some group of friends who proclaimed themselves speaker, that became the working document of a state. I think we're just trying to destroy our democracy if we continue in that manner. And the FCT minister also states something that is very obvious. There are issues that State High Court has jurisdiction. There are issues that the State High Court lacks jurisdiction. So the one State High Court has jurisdiction, you can take a matter there. The one that lacks jurisdiction, there is another court that the Constitution will recommend jurisdiction. It might be the Federal High Court. So you're supposed to take such issue to the Federal High Court for determination or to seek your redress. But if you didn't follow that pattern, there is no way you can weep. If you like, you lament. The law is the law. The positive school of thought says the law is as good as made. If you don't like the law, what you do, you make recommendation through the recommended quarters for an amendment to be effected. Until this is done, the law remains the law. Anywhere you take it to, within the territory of Nigeria, the law remains the law. So I think my appeal or advice to the governor of Rivers State, Governor Similaye Fubara, please, if you want peace, because without peace there will be no room for development. If you want peace, please hold on to constitutionalism, respect the law. Without the law, you can't be governor. Without the law, you can't be governor. There are other river sons and daughters who are qualified, who have same academic qualification, so even have better academic qualification, who can proclaim themselves governor. But the law didn't permit such act. So they submit themselves to the law by recognizing you as the governor through the ballot that you were given that mandate to so perform. So it is unusual for one who is elected by law to be disobeying the ground norm that make you the governor. You are only calling for crisis and more troubles in the state, which I think I will never support. Now,
at this point, Amy, you've raised some concerns, but you also talked about the presentation of the budget to a House of Assembly that is not known to the law. Now, Martin Amebule, they've written the governor again, encouraging him to represent the 2025 budget to the Rivers State House of Assembly. Now, the governor, didn't bother responding to them, but he has also made insinuations to the effect that, they are going to, the Rivers State government will still present the 2025 budget in this instance, but will still be presented to Okojumbo.
I tell you, that is a impeachable offense. Section 188 of the 19th Constitution amendment states what gross misconduct is. So if you read it, if you do what is outside the law, it's gross misconduct, and the assembly can define and impeach you. By law, I don't know any other person who is the Speaker of Rivers House of Assembly other than Honorable Martin Amebule in the eyes of the law. And following other court judgment that came recently, all also, accentuate the speakership of Honorable Martin Amebule. So if you go about presenting a budget to your friends in the name of an assembly, I think it's an impeachable offense. And I don't want the government, the state governor to toe that part. That word representation is not always okay with me. Once I hear it, it ike me somehow. What is representation? Representation means maybe you have done the thing before. You also do it properly. So you do it again in the proper manner. That is representation. But in this, for me, Rivers State Governor under Similaye Fubara has not presented 2024 appropriation bill to an assembly before. You can do something with your group of friends in a secluded place. You celebrate yourself. But is that the law? What the law requires is that you present a budget according to section 121 of the Constitution as amended, that you shall cause to present an appropriation bill to the State House of Assembly. The State House of Assembly that we know today is one in Rivers State. And it's under the leadership of Honorable Martin Amebule. And the State Assembly, I think it's a 32-man member. One is dead, so we have 31 left. who are alive and still serving. So if you went about presenting a budget to maybe 4 or 5 persons, which the law even prohibit, I think it's section 91 of Nigerian Constitution, that state that a House of Assembly should not be less than 24 members and not be more than 40 members. So if you say you are presenting a budget to 4, does it mean 24? I don't know. At the time in this country where I had a situation where they say 16 was greater than 19. Are they trying to invoke such a behavior again? I think the governor should just comply. You've not presented 2024 appropriation bill. Thinking about presenting 2025 appropriation bill where there is no 2024 appropriation bill, I think it's gross misconduct if you follow by the definition of what gross misconduct is in the Nigerian Constitution. All
right. Ifeanyi, what do you have to say to this story?
First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the magnanimity and the line the FCT minister have done in they said when a child does well, the father will pat him or her on the back. Thank you for a work well done. It's anticipation of more work. So I want to thank him and acknowledge him for taking the initiative with some elders of the party to, acknowledge and reassure the 25 lawmakers, or 27 of them, led by Speaker Barrister Martin Samehule, that all they have been enduring, all the bullets they have been taking, all the sleepless nights and all whatnot is not gone unnoticed, because as he has stated and in his address to them that they fought day and night, they stood their ground and made sure that PDP, I don't want to say Fubara now, that PDP retained the state even when they lost it during the presidential elections to APC. So we are in Rivers State, and we see what is happening to the cases and the court orders and the whatnot. I know that Wike is reacting to the whipping of sentiment that Governor Fubara exhibited on Friday or Thursday, as the case may be, when the Nigerian Bar Association Rivers State chapter, I don't know whether it's a nationwide celebration, did their the opening of the new legal year, and in that his address was an outburst of sentiment and someone who lacks the knowledge of law. And I was in a radio station on Thursday, and I said one thing: I don't know if the governor really understands the lines of the Constitution and the law. Although he also said that he is not a lawyer, but there are primary knowledge of the law, or he don't have a strong legal team. As I've always said, his handlers are not doing well. If the governor, as the first citizen of the state at that exalted office, do not know, the courts that have jurisdiction to hear certain matters, I think it's really appalling. And it's something that baffled me, that he could come on a national radio or public purview to really say the things he said. And the seated before him were legal luminaries, and they just sat and listened as if they were hypnotized. And after that outburst, I've not had any of the legal luminaries, either by proxy or any section of the bench or the bar, writing a strong condemnation of the outburst of the governor, that he was accusing them of one, he said that they will be judged, everybody will be judged, so to say. And again, he is now accusing them of bias. He's accusing them of selling out and all that. But like Amy said, some of the judgments that Ian Wike has elaborated, that they got 10, from 1 to 10, got ex parte orders. They didn't purchase their own. It was last Sunday I was educating the person I was seated with. I said, when it is favorable to you, it is not purchased. But when it goes according to the laid down tenets of the law, it is now purchased. I mean, how do they, the good books the Christians use, say that you are not cold, you are not warm. I don't know how to, place you. What I will do is to vomit you. There's a lot of sentiment and bias amongst our people. And that is not to be. In a matter like this, you look at the letters of the law and the letters of the Constitution, which is very clear. In what I said on Friday in a program I went on radio, I said the Constitution is explicitly clear that the cases that involve even be it a taxpayer, ordinary market man or woman, that you have a problem with the internal generation ministry or revenue agency in Rivers State, you have to go to the state high court, or you start from the magistrate court in the state. But what it has to do with the payment of revenue accruable to the federal government, I mean, I want to come up to at that elementary level, and the federal revenue agency is after you. You go and file your case in this federal high court. As simple as that. Not to talk of a problem you have with the House of Assembly. And let me make this clear. Amy has said a lot about it. What happened in October of 2023 was when Martin Samuel and his brothers ran to Omotosho's court in the federal high court for protection, was when the governor on his own decided to pull down the State House Assembly without proper investigation conducted in what led to the bombing of the assembly. Because let us remember, we are quick to forget history. There was a bombing incident in the place they claimed that an impeachment procedure was going on against the governor. Agreed. Then Barrister Wike came out and said that even in the constitutional democracy, impeachment is not a coup. If you have done something that is that constitutes a gross misconduct that leads to an impeachable offense, you will be impeached through the process of impeachment. And then the State Assembly was bombed. Until today, Rivers State government have not brought out any white or blue paper concerning the investigation. And we are still waiting for that investigation to be completed. So that is what led to Martin Samuel running and saying that they have desecrated the temple of making laws in Rivers State. And the governor now said that they will come to the government house. And the Omotosho clearly stated that the governor has no constitutional right to tell the legislators where to, carry out their legislative business. It was stated clearly. So, in some of the things that Nyesom Wike have said, they have called him a lot of names. They have become anti-democratic forces. The governor and the state legislative arm of the government in Rivers State has become what do they call it? They call them all sorts of names in Rivers State. But today, he has mentioned the three names that the governor Hideto called the three wise men that are today on the other leg of his books. It is a pity, but there is something I want the governor to take home. I listened on Thursday or Friday. The DG of PDP Governors Forum appeared on Channels Politics. They now asked him, what are you saying about giving the governor his place in PDP? Hence, you have resolved that there is no faction again. Both counter suspension and all whatnot in PDP have been resolved. The man said that this is the second year of Governor Fubara. Why will he be weeping like a child and a woman? I'm putting him verbatim. You can go and watch. He said that the governor has been on this saddle for close to 2 years. It is the same seat Nyesom Wike sat and got for himself the name that he has today. That what is inhibiting the governor from going all out and taking charge in the of the structure of the party. And he now said that the governor was called upon severally to take charge of the party. He said, no, our guy is there now. Okay, you see, they called the governor. This is the time you take. Other governors have taken charge. Are they weeping? It doesn't mean that they don't have problems with the other party leaders and those who are interested in controlling the affairs or what goes on in their various states. The answer is no. But they have shown capacity and they're taking charge. That was what the DG or PDP said. And they said that if the governor by this time is still whipping sentiments, that he's not ready. And those particular political positions are not given, but they are taken. What does that tell you? The governor and his camp has clearly shot themselves on the foot. Coming to it, that he has jettisoned the power he has as a governor, and somebody is doing the work and is doing what he's doing in the PDP, and people are acknowledging it. Nyesom Wike has touched people. He's a man manager. He used his position to touch lives, put people in position. That is what politics is all about, the people you have touched. And even not only in the River State, he has also made an route in different states of the Federation, making sure that this is what politics is all about. And if he has done it and it is not sitting well with you, who is to be blamed? So the governor should understand that litigations are done in phases, and litigations are done according to the laid-down procedure of what the Constitution has said. And he has achieved his aim of trying to jettison the State House Assembly. But I am happy that many media stations in River State has acknowledged the Martin Samehule led speakership in River State according to the pronouncement of the appeal court, and it is not in contention. So anybody who is contesting that should wait until we go through the whole hog of the litigations. But for now, Martin Samehule stands as the Speaker of River State House Assembly. All right.
I mean, you have something to say before we move on to the next story.
Yes, I think one key thing that is also worthy of notice. By passive, you said the government of River State is actually preparing 2025 appropriation bill. I think the governor need to know what the content of court is. You don't commit content of court. You don't go about, disobeying a grown number of a state. They are telling you that every activity that was done by Edisi and Oko Jumbo by the judgment of Justice Omotosho are illegal and void. You are still using some of these commissioners, even when you say you have appealed or whatever, you are still using the same commissioner to formulate another appropriation bill that you will still send to Oko Jumbo and the rest. What foundation are you laying? And you are still going to approach the same court again to seek a redress that you are aggrieved, the court that you are disobeying today. And once the court now give that judgment based on what the law says, you say God will punish them. Is that what you are going to say? Already you are already aggrieved. You are saying God will judge, God will do this, God will that. Yes, God is a God of all. God loves justice. In a state where there is a law, the conscience of the state is not what I think or what you think. The moral conscience of the state is what the law says. What I say might be good in my ears, or even be good in the ears of my friends. What you say might be good in your ears, or even be wise in the eyes of your friends. But that might not really count if the law says otherwise. The law has stated A, B, C, D as the procedure towards achieving what is in conformity with the law. And you are trying to go against it, and even boasting. Out of the borders of the heart, the man speaker says a wise book of a religion.
Yes.
I was somebody who was boasting that they will not obey any this thing, and it's a member of House of Reps. Say they will not obey any judgment. They will not do that. Is that what the governor is trying to exhibit? I pray he never did, because the law will definitely, speak. And once the law speak, I hope we'll not go to another church and begin to raise curses and ask judgment of God upon people. We were supposed to do what is right, and we abandon what we were supposed to do, and later we'll begin to call on God to come and rain what. Please, oh.
Yeah, now, Emmy, with regards to this concern you have raised, now this is the conundrum. According to the Constitution, by the way, we are running a full circle budget now. And then, according to the Constitution, the budget is supposed to be submitted to, in the case of the federal government, it's supposed to be submitted to the National Assembly 4 months before the inception of the implementation of that budget. And the budget is to be implemented by January. It means that if we are to go by that time, the federal government ought to have submitted since last month. Now, the same thing applies in the state. If right now what is being expected at this point in time is the 2025 budget, the question would be, now don't forget, Amy, that the appeal court also said that all the expenditures made by the governor from the 2024 budget is illegal. Every expenditures that has not been approved made by the governor is illegal. And I mean, we are coming to the end of 2024 fiscal year, and 2025 budget ought to have been presented by now. With all these things going on, is the governor going to present both 2024 and 2025 budget side by side?
Can I come in?
Amy, I asked Amy, okay. Then after that you can come in. Amy.
The issue is a legal matter. The fiscal year of a budget begins when it is passed. Before now, Nigeria wasn't operating January to December.
Of course.
But we made some adjustments. And federal government decided that let it be running from January to December instead of that June to July or whatever we have been operating. And that is what we are today now. So our budget now at the federal level run from January to December. On the state government, the law actually permit the governor to spend a certain amount of the money within a stipulated
6 months.
Within a stipulated time. Perhaps the money will not exceed the budget of the previous year. But as we had today,
there is a particular money, not from the appropriation bill.
From the consolidated account.
Yes, not from the appropriation bill.
Appropriation is a process now.
Yes,
from
go
the
ahead.
Consolidated account of the state. The governor is permitted to spend certain amount of money, not exceeding
a certain time.
The budget of the previous year. And as we find ourselves today, I believe the government of Rivers State has spent money exceeding the budget of the previous year. On budgeted for, let me use that word, because the money has not gone through the processes required by law, that is going to the assembly for assent before the governor of the state will sign it. So currently 2024 budget, we only walk through political solution, because as it stands, the law says go and present, and you are talking about 2025 where you have not had 2024. This is an impeachable offense. I'm just trying to avoid this. I can't avoid it anymore. I just have to be open now. It's an impeachable offense. So the only way out, as it were, is political solution. And this is why it is very necessary that wisdom should be profitable to direct. When the president tried to intervene on the 18th of December 2023, when the governor left, some desperate, belly-seeking, and some genuine people, let me use the word genuine people also, trying to mislead the governor into suing Mr. President before a court of law, and even trying to call the resolution a decree handed over to a governor. Though that they don't accept it, the governor rejected it, Rivers people reject it, just because you felt that you want to satisfy the quest of your belly, or you are seeking political relevance. You don't care about the man you are misleading. Now you have misled the man. He has met a brick. There is no going back. There is no way he can get out of this one. And so, what do you expect the man to do now?
he will now go back to eat some of these vomits that you people led him into. Because that is the only way out. It's political solution. Because you must present an appropriation bill before the state assembly for them to pass it before you can spend the money. So if you still dragging your foot, I don't know. It's just heading towards an impeachment because you can't do 2025 when you've not done 2024.
Right. Emmy talked about political solution to the 2024 budget. Now, the thing here is the judgment didn't come a few weeks ago. Yes. The judgment did not come. The judgment asking the governor or ordering the governor in this instance to present the budget. It didn't come last week or last month or last 2 months. It wasn't even the judgment of the appeal court.
Yes.
It was the judgment of Justice Omotosho on the, I think, 22nd of January 2024. Barely
if I don't know now,
barely few weeks into the beginning of the lifespan of that budget.
Yes.
So even if the governor had obeyed and presented that budget in January, it would still fly naturally. Now, and even after that 2023, that judgment of Justice Omotosho in January 2024, the governor refused to present the budget. Martin Sameh-led House of Assembly has written to the governor more than once, and the governor, I think the first time they had that plenary after the appeal court, you know, ruled over Justice Wale's matter,
yes,
and also clearly stated the
jurisdiction
of the State High Court and the Federal High Court.
Yes.
Martin Sameh-led House of Assembly had the plenary and wrote to the governor.
Yes.
And you recall that the state government ran to a court
yes,
to get an ex parte order barring the clerk of the house, barring the attorney general of the state, barring the governor from receiving any correspondences from Martin Sameh-led House of Assembly,
yes,
and also from receiving impeachment notice from them.
Of course.
And after all that happened, the governor came out to say that, in fact, they are actually preparing the 2025 budget. Now, another judgment has come affirming
what was done in January.
What was done in January. Now, Emmy is proffering political solution as the way out. The grounds would be this order or this judgment was given in January, actually. This judgment was not given last month. The judgment of the appeal court was merely affirming what was already existing. What do you have to say about that?
You know, when Amy was speaking, I was listening to Amy keenly because I thought he was here in spirit last Sunday. When I sat here and said that the only window of opportunity left for the governor when Martin Sameh, you know, called upon him after declaring the seats of Okojombo and Edisene here, Sakari, Good Boy Sakari, and the one other person vacant, was that they are giving the governor another opportunity to come and present the budget. Then I sat here, I said that the governor has a window of opportunity to go and present. And let us say that a budget, in this case, is a political exercise, though it is the engine room that determines the functionality of the governance of a particular state or a nation. So in this case, it has been overtaken by events. Let us say that there is a dispute and a political crisis. Then the governor, with all due respect to his office, being the prodigal son here, has a father who still listens and who is still ready to welcome him home in the person of Martin Sameh, who has in his magnanimity, because if you look at the lines of the judgment of the appeal court, they clearly stated that the governor is committing gross misconduct by not obeying court orders, you know, because you know that there is a lengthy litany of issues that Omotosho dealt with, and this clearly put to rest everything that's happening in Rivers State. If the governor and those around him we are not bent on. Remember what I always tell you on this show. I say that once there is a reconciliation, all those people running around the governor will not be anywhere to be found. I mentioned 5 people that I can attest that those people that fought for the governor to be on that seat. Secretary to the state government, Edison here and his brothers' legislatures are the people I know that clearly, or any other person you see around the governor, some are coming on the political infrastructure, and those people who are coming to join the governor, the enemy of my enemy is now my friend. I've clearly been stating it here, and the governor has, thrown caution to the wind. Martin Samehule has called on him to present the budget. And in this case, we know that the government is in continuum. The civil servants are being paid. We are seeing some things being put on ground, not to talk of the ones in frivolities. The stage of church campaigns and church structure is gone. When churches we are being gathered for structure, and now the structure has shifted to APP. So now, if the budget is to be presented, it will be on mutual cordiality, tending towards a political agreement, and that political agreement comes from the side of truth. And whether you call it cosmetic reconciliation or living on a borrowed piece, but let it be seen as to have been done. The governor should prune down his ego, because leading him to nowhere. Last Sunday I said the governor is busy tying himself a rope that he might not be able to lose. That was my statement last Sunday, if you remember clearly. Choma, I spoke in parable. Thank God that Amy is making it, speaking in the affirmative. But this is I now told the Rivers people that those biased, those sentiments to all those things, that when it will happen, they should clearly follow the trajectory of where we came to the point where we are going to. So in this case, presentation of this budget will be a political exercise. The 2024 budget. Being the presentation will be on a political solution. As Amy have said, that is where we are heading to. But if the governor do not toe that line, I wonder what he leaves the River State House Assembly that is being governed by law with no other what do you call it, opportunity or no other option than to go for the needful, which is impeachment. Because if the governor is allowed to present another budget to an illegally constituted house, that means River State is now moving on autopilot.
All right. And
once we get there, you know that it is a lawless state, and we don't want to get there. So the governor should hearken to the voice of reason and the voice of wisdom, where he should make hay while the sun still shines.
All right.